Welcome to EIP Editing Office Hour number 56. We'll be going through a few author questions today and then going through some last call review and some other pull requests. So I guess without further ado, let's take a look at pull request 999, and I believe we have the author with us today. So you had some questions?
Correct. So we worked previously on another token standard known as key-bound tokens. That was ERC 6808 and ERC 6809. And we had a fungible and non-fungible version of it. And with this one right here, we have something similar occurring where we'll have multiple versions, or we have the ability to have multiple versions of what we're calling ABT, which is asset-bound tokens. Regarding first the naming, do you think it's necessary for all these versions to include the non-fungible part in the first tab, or can we have something like, in this example, permalink ABT, and then potentially have hybrid ABTs, etc.?
That's entirely up to you. We don't really have any rules about the naming. As long as you feel it's sufficiently unique to identify your standard, you can call it whatever you want.
Okay, marvelous. And then my secondary question would be within the motivation, because I think we had a similar thing when we were producing the key-bound token standard. Because, as I said, there's multiple versions that have the possibility to be created with ABTs. Can I, is it still all right to have generalized information about ABTs as a whole within each documentation? And then at the end of the motivation, specify, in this case, what permalink ABTs do or what they're targeting? Or would
Um,
it be best to just have the initial target for just permalinks?
so are you going to be doing one EIP per like style of token, or are you going to be doing it all in one proposal?
It'll be separate. They'll be individual.
Okay, yeah, then it'd be a good idea to include like duplicate the motivation,
Okay, marvelous.
just so that each one stands on its own.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. Anything else about this one that you wanted to know, or?
No, that was all. I know we have some more items to or some things to add
Yeah,
within
okay.
there, but we'll be adding that within the uh, draft and hammering out the specification and rationale moving forward, and then going back and forth on it.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, so I won't review this today until you have at least some specification, but feel free to come back when you're ready.
Okay, so you would like us for us to add specification and
At least like
or
a sketch of what it's going to look like. Yeah, just enough to let us know that it's kind of like a legitimate standard and not just like a
Mhm.
placeholder or an April Fool's joke. So yeah,
Okay, noted. Thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah. Um, Anybody else here have any questions, or can I just dive into the agenda today? All right. Oh, so Veen Kumar asks, hey, I have an existing ERC that is on status review, but has yet to be reviewed. Okay, so it is, the EIP editors only provide like editorial kind of comments. We don't really do technical reviews. Um, so it's on EIP authors to go out and get technical reviews. If you need suggestions for where to look, please post your EIP number and I can maybe give you some pointers there. But yeah, it's really an author-driven process. And then when you feel your proposal is done being reviewed and ready to advance, you can open a pull request yourself to move it into last call.
Ah,
Does that kind of make
oh,
sense?
yeah, because regarding that, regarding the status, it's pending as EIP code owner board that is yet to do the review. So I'm not too sure about the processes with that because we also
Hmm.
did
So you have a
um
pull request open?
yeah, I can
Uh,
share the link here just in
yeah,
case.
share the link.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So the bot only reviews once an EIP editor has reviewed. Let's see. Yeah, so here, I'll do this right now. But yeah, for future reference, there's a queue here of all the PRs that need to be reviewed.
Okay, I see, I
Yeah,
see.
so it just takes me a while to get to everything. So purpose bound money started interface extending your C1155 to implement purpose. Okay. So can I? Okay. So my first suggestion here is your title is, or your description is really just restating a lot of your title here.
Okay.
So I'll just um, so So this purpose outlines the smart contract interface that builds money as the 11.5 standard to implement the purpose about money concept. Purpose about money, PBM wrapper and a digital money that wraps a digital money token. Stores value as a fee, as digital money token is referred to as a fee token. And it should be okay. But if digital cash voucher because the price is constrained, payer can use PBM, but just not have the president have the measure. It's really seen about payment to the measure redeemer. This is akin to a physical cash voucher, where the payer is restricted to purchases. Compatible, okay. Compatible smart contract is PBM. Okay. Is it a purpose-bound money token or tokens or?
It's a purpose-bound money token. So this token is
Okay,
a
yeah,
wrapper.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so. Okay. Not just this, okay. Okay, and this presents first of all the technology for lack of interoperability. By making PBM specification open, it gives new participants free. Okay. Okay. So, 20 compatible digital currency. Okay, PBM wrapper needs to identify compliance smart contract, which refs sub-token by specifying one or more conditions have to be met, refer to PBM business logic. Okay. Yep. Okay, the consciousness redeemer is a product defined as the ultimate recipient or endpoint for PPM tokens to which these tokens are intrinsically. Okay. PPM shall adhere to the definition of bounding. Okay, PPM shall adhere to the definition of unwrapped to remain on the receive token. Okay. Okay, that's more of a comment for your discussion thread. Hopefully that's back up. Where did that go? Wow, Ethereum Magicians is slow now. Okay. Okay, we'll just skip that for now. PPM token must be burnt. Okay, PPM token should have expiry time. This is with the PPM creator. The core components contains basic functionalities and validation checks that all PPM should have. Core CAD. So only 50% of it could be spent in supermarkets. Keep track of supermarket spendings by PPM users. Okay, cool. Okay, so why is this an abstract contract?
This is an example of the contract of how to use a PPM token.
Yeah, so generally we prefer to put an example implementation in the reference implementation section.
Okay.
The PPM must include compulsory state variables. So there is a requirement here that too. This isn't just an example. So okay. Do you have an interface? Okay, you do have an interface.
Yeah.
Burn. Yeah, so like my suggestion here is if like this struct is mandatory, like to be implemented.
Okay.
Oh, but you're saying some of them are optional here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the normal way to encode that in like Solidity would be to divide it into several different interfaces and then mark certain interfaces as optional. That's what EIP 721 does with the metadata extension. So I'd suggest something similar here.
So we separate the interfaces for those that are optional.
Yeah, exactly. So like, for example, let's say, I don't know, let's say total supply and actually that's kind of a bad example. Let's do token symbol and currency symbol. Like if those two are optional together, they go into one interface. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Okay. Okay. Yeah, must have found a method to retrieve. Okay. So you have an address list here. Okay. Token receiver. Okay. Okay. Front running. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so really just try to cut this down to things that are like not general smart contract development considerations, but like specific to yours. Like you might have something, I'm just gonna guess here, something unique in your proposal with unwrapping tokens, or you had mentioned up here that you don't necessarily need to wrap the solve token right away when the wrapper is created. So like
Yep.
those might have some unique security considerations for this proposal. That's what should go in this section.
Okay.
Don't keep it too general. Otherwise, everything else I think looks good. Yeah. So there's your review for this one. I'll come back around to it after you've made your changes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
we...
really quick, Sam, a quick
Yeah.
question, just so I relay the correct information to my fellow authors working on that standard. So for the next meeting, have the specification and potentially some additional things just filled out. And then in that meeting, that's where we'll be then moved to draft, correct? Or potentially, yeah.
Yeah, so ideally it'll happen before the next meeting, just as soon as somebody gets to it. But if you come to this call, it's kind of a backdoor to jump the queue. I don't really recommend that people do that, but I won't stop you if you show up.
All right. Gotcha. Okay, we'll get that hammered out. Thank you.
All right, let's take a look at some of these last call tokens. Decentralized employment standard. All right. Intend to build. So you got through my Yeah, so it's been updated, but I don't think. Okay. Okay, so nothing's changed on that one. Diffuse of token, transferring diff tokens does not decrease the token center balance, so it means new token structure. Okay, fixed native currency fee is charged. Per token transfer, this fee is paid by the sender to the contract owner. Okay. I mean, that link seems to work for me. Oh, is it that it changed? That would make sense. I guess it has been updated. Weird. Yeah, so that one needs to be updated. Okay. 3, 4, so 10, 15 update. So all right. So now moving into draft. Skip, jump test, immediate argument check. All jump test bytes become valid jump test. All right, so moving on to block level warming with fair cost savings. Okay. You had been assigned 7557. Do you still have 7557? You do. Okay. So for a fair distribution of the gas costs associated with access to addresses and storage slots along multiple transactions with shared items in their access list. Um, EIP 2929 introduced new gas cost model that differentiates between cold and warm access to accounts and storage slots. However, the cost of every cold access is borne by each transaction separately, even though the validator only needs to fetch the state object once for the entire block. When multiple transactions access the same object in the same block, the fees charged for these transactions do not accurately respect the computations that block builders and validators perform for the blockchain state access. Yep. In 2930, made it possible for transactions to pre-specify and prepay for the accounts and storage slots that the transaction plans to access, or the cost is paid repeatedly rather than once at the block level. With the EIP 6800 on the roadmap for cost of reading for is expected to increase, especially affected by this upgrading schedule of transactions that most amount context with a high code size. Each such transaction in the block will be forced to pay the full retail price. Okay. The validators only have to perform the actual reading from the Ethereum state once per block, and subsequent reads of the values that were already referenced are significantly more efficient. If witnesses are introduced to Ethereum blocks, the same witness can be used by multiple transactions. Fair and efficient. Another change, account abstraction. Restrict behavior transaction type. All right. Restrict the outcome of their execution. All right. This proposal defines the transaction payload to defines the total value of crypto assets that have been sold. Ethereum network configuration for dApps 9312. I'll be right back. 1 second. Sorry about that. I'm back. All right, I'm going to wrap that up here. Thanks everybody for coming out. Sorry it was a quiet call. See you all in 2 weeks.